Alrighty. Hello. Um, Hi. I am at the beautiful East River in New York City, and I am in public, but doechii, according to week 2 of her Artist's Way videos, her word of that year, I think 2022, was audacity. So I'm going to channel doechii and have the audacity to just make this video in public. So, what I wanted to do, literally heavily inspired by doechii. Doechii is everything. Doechii is the one, the only. I wanted to make a little, I guess, like artist recap. Not recap. Like she does artist check-ins when she was doing the Artist Way. I'm not doing the Artist Way, but I think it's always a good thing to kind of keep stock of kind of what's going on. And I've had so many feelings and emotions today and the past couple weeks. But yeah, I'm gonna do a brief little introduction. So, hello, my name is Tali. That is my artist name. My full name is Talia Bookspazen, but I was like, do I want my full name? And then I went through a whole thing. I was like, it's hard to pronounce. It's hard, but then I was like, who gives a fuck? But then I was like, you know what? Tali just kind of described me because like Talia Bookspazen's like a writer, and Tali is just like a bitch. And as a songwriter, I want to be a bitch. So I want to be both. I want to be it all. But yes, I'm a writer. I went to Carnegie Mellon University and got 2 degrees in professional and creative writing. Professional writing as in writing legal documents, as in writing proposals, grants, whatever. Creative writing because that's my soul. And I haven't been able to find a job for the past over a year. And I live with my mom. I live with my mommy. A little bit about my music. I don't know what the fuck it is, which is so real and so relatable, except to everyone but me. I'm like, get your shit together. I didn't start singing ever really until 2020. I was in a school musical in high school, and my dad was, and I was in the background, and my dad was a vocal teacher, a classical vocal teacher. However, I felt a lot of shame around singing and being, out and about as I was, so I purposefully did not sing. My whole family sings, but I was like, I'm not gonna sing, and bitch, here we are. I'm busting out my notebook because it helps me stay on track. I'm not as articulate as doechii. I'm also not trying to compare myself to doechii. I'm just heavily inspired by her, and all I do is think about her all day, every day. I am gay, that is true, and doechii is very hot. I want to specifically talk about doechii's week 2 of the Artist Way, and kind of what I thought about it in, the context of my own artist journey. So she said week 2, audacity. I listened to watched the week 2 video, I think last Monday, and I have watched it again since then, because it really hit me. Like, I tried to listen to the other ones, which are, like, they're all great, but I just didn't feel like I was done with week 2. Like, week 2 just keeps speaking to me. Doechii talked about the things about herself that she knew to be true. The things about herself that, have persisted throughout childhood. And she talked about this drive and this desire to create. And also this feeling of, this feeling of being, stuck and wanting to get there and feeling incredibly agitated and angry and frustrated with, she believes in God. She feeling very frustrated with God that she wasn't where she is. She feels like she's in some liminal space, and I have also felt that way my entire life. Doechii has been very ambitious. I'm also extremely ambitious, to my detriment, because it hurts when you don't get the things you want. It fucking hurts. But, so some things about myself that I know are true. Number one, the first thing that came to mind was, I love musicals. Theater has been the absolute nexus of my life since I was, 14. Maybe less so. Not less so now, because my favorite piece of art ever is a musical, and I refer back to it all the time, for my own artistic, I guess, I don't know, desires. The musical is a strange loop. It's the best thing ever. Number one, that is true. I love musicals. I love writing. I love good writing. That is another thing that has always been true. I've always been a critic. I've always been a bit of a critic. even since I was young. Like, I remember seeing the Humans National Tour. The Humans is a play that I think won a Pulitzer Prize, and I was like, this is bullshit, and I still think it's bullshit. But maybe it's not bullshit, and maybe I just need to go back and revisit it. I've had a lot of opinions from the past that, like, I still, like, feel the feeling of, like, yes, this is exactly how I feel, but I actually haven't seen the piece of art in, like, a long time. So I'm like, maybe my opinion has changed. But when I saw that shit when I was, like, 14, I was like, this is ass. This is a rich person trying to remember what a poor person's life is. See, and honestly, I don't even remember if that was the point of the play. I haven't seen the play in, like, 10 fucking years. I know it's about Thanksgiving. Yes, I've always had a very, I guess, keen eye for art, for, I guess, effective art and effective writing, and I still think that's true. I have a very high standard of excellence for myself, and I don't like a lot of things. One thing about me is I will pick up a book and read half of it and then be like, I can't finish it. I can't even, like I appreciate the effort of the writer. I appreciate it, but it's not giving. Like, it's not, like, the writing isn't good, the imagery isn't good, like, something about it. I've always been that way, and I've kind of accepted it. I can't shame myself into being more, open or whatever. But another thing is I love to sing, and I've always loved to sing, even when I didn't. I wouldn't even sing to myself when I was younger, but I would, like, hear music. I would hear my dad's voice lessons. I would hear my siblings sing, and I just felt like I was resentful of them because they had a sense of freedom that I felt like I wasn't allowed to have, just because I put these, standards on myself that didn't really make sense. I also have OCD, so a lot of the things in my brain don't make sense, and I have to, like, break it down. And I now know that me just not singing and making these, like, arbitrary rules for myself is literally OCD. So singing is one of the things I love to do, and I also have a very high standard of excellence for my singing as well, because I could contribute to my father and his, classical voice lessons, all of that. But the truth is, I just want to be good as fuck. Like, I just want to be good technically. I want to be good in all of these ways. I've always wanted to be good and impressive to others, and that is my issue. That is my, I think, number one issue that is blocking me as an artist. And I am trying to actively deconstruct that with my voice teacher when she told me to write a song from the place of me that loves writing songs. I did it. I wrote a song that had, like, 3 chords, and I didn't really understand it at first, but now I understand it. Did I go back and tweak the song quite a bit and go through many, many rounds and spend hours writing it? Yes. It didn't defeat the point. It kind of did, but it didn't, but it kind of did. But, whatever. So, yeah, I have a lot of, I'm about to fucking burp, bro. Some other things about myself that I know are true is that I grew up poor, and I've always felt that deep in my body that I was poor, and that has affected me forever, and being poor has fucked me up. It is fucked me up, and it's not just the lack of money, it's just the way society treats poor people. All of this to say is that I've had a project all about kind of politics, but, like, politics from the perspective of, poor people who actually have a stake, people who it affects. And I've slowly been chipping at that project for, like, 2 years. And now I'm dealing with jealousy because this is about to be fucked up. This is about to be fucked up. I know it's fucked up. Unfortunately, it is how I feel, and I'm trying to rewire it and understand it. Because everyone is awakening to, the awful things happening in politics, all the songwriters are now writing political songs, and then I'm like, they stole my niche. And then I'm like, bitch, let's be so for real. Let's be so for real, acting like politics only affects you, white girl. But my brain was like, I found my niche, okay? I'm gonna work on that. And it just wasn't my time. It just was absolutely not my time because I was scared. I didn't know the right things to say. Obviously, the world is incredibly scary, and there are a lot of things to, assess, always different things to write about. And then I dealt with, imposter syndrome, being like, why me? Why should I write this? All of that. I was like, okay, then who are you as an artist? You need to be different. You have to be different. You have to be different. All this. I told myself I wasn't going to edit this video, but I'm definitely editing this video because I know I have an issue piecing things together. I'm not the best oral speaker, but I am a great writer, and I do stand by that. Yeah, so there's kind of a lot happening in my life, a lot, and also nothing all at the same time. And I'm trying to put my art first. I want a job. I want to be very intentional with my journey, and I want to show up for my dreams. Showing up for my dreams is something that my artist friend put in one of their recent videos, and I felt it so hard. Their name is Glory Daze, Daze. Shout out. They have fabulous music. There's one more thing that I really, really wanted to say and talk about as the core of myself. I yearn very hard. I yearn extremely, extremely hard. And I remember when I was 16, literally 16. Okay, now why are these cops taking selfies? Do a fucking job. I remember when I was 16 and I was making out with my boyfriend. I'm gay now. I don't know if I'm bisexual, but I'm definitely gay, the fuck. I was making out with my boyfriend. And I remember distinctly in my brain being like, I want to describe this feeling of being sexy. Like I was like, my life goal is to describe this feeling because it's the best feeling ever. It's a very powerful feeling. And I feel like the feeling of like lust and yearning and want and love and all of that is something that I've always, for better or for worse, have tried to chase, have tried to explain, have tried to, touch and accidentally / not accidentally centered in my life. Trying to decenter it, but also, acknowledge that I'm a lover. It's just who I am. And yeah, that the kind of sensuality of it all, I feel like is a big facet of my writing. And it's also one of the most vulnerable parts of myself. And I feel like that carries a lot of weight and responsibility, and standards that I give myself. I'm like, you can't be corny now. You can't be corny. What you write needs to be profound. It needs to be like Call Me By Your Name, profound, which is an amazing book. I'm reading that right now. Holy shit, the writing is excellent. But yeah, that's another part of myself that, I remember like a year ago, I was like, I'm not going to write love songs. Like, I'm not going to write that. Like, love songs are stupid. Like, I want to write about things that matter, such as my political project. And now I realize I'm like, love does matter. Like, love is everything. Like, love is the very center of my being, and it's who I am, and I can't, shame that away as much as I want to. Anyways, these are my thoughts of the day. I want to do one of these kind of artist check-ins every week. I have been feeling incredibly stagnant today, but I watched doechii, and it made me feel a lot better. It made me feel a lot less alone, and it made me feel inspired to do this. So I'm gonna post one of these every week, and yeah, okay, that's all. Goodbye.